We're here in Los Angeles to see this stunning, stately Italian Mediterranean estate in Hancock Park.
Chris, hi.
Jennifer,
it's great to see you.
so nice to see you too, and welcome to Hancock Park.
Hancock Park. Now, tell me about this neighborhood. It's very different than other neighborhoods here in Los Angeles.
Hancock Park is the Grand Dame of Los Angeles. In fact, it's one of the oldest estate neighborhoods in Los Angeles. Homes in Hancock Park, you can find that were built at the turn of the century, and not the 21st century, but the 20th century.
The one before that.
Exactly.
It is a really lovely tree-lined neighborhood. Definitely speaks of old elegance.
And here we get land, we get privacy.
And we get a lot of very classic homes, like the one I'm standing in front of.
We are, and you are standing in front of a 1927 Mediterranean villa.
It's big enough to be a village. Well, I feel that just walking up to this home, looking at the hand-done plaster, the beautiful arch to greet us at the front door. This home is completely restored, but did they keep some of those classic elements?
To the extent they could, they did. They like to restore those classic elements, but where they couldn't, and I'll point out a few of those places, they have a carpenter or somebody who has that sort of artistic experience come in and, to the extent possible, match it.
I am very excited to see inside this grand home.
Fantastic. Well, then we should go inside.
Let's peek in the villa. Oh, look at this staircase.
So this is classic Hancock Park, where you have the central hall staircase, and in this case, it curves. This is actually original to the home.
Oh.
However, the skylight did not exist, obviously, nor did the chandelier, and so this builder brought, to bring in light into an entryway that was dark, they put in that skylight.
It's brilliant. What a glowing space that we're in.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that this was original to the house because it does have a touch of modernism in its floating base. And of course, I love the classic herringbone floors. This is an interesting scale. These are actually 4x24s, which you don't see here in the States very often. That's very European.
Well, and again, this is a villa built in the late 20s, and so they are trying to give that European ambiance to the home. So I'm glad you noticed that.
I love those details.
Everything.
I try to notice those little details.
Yeah.
And speaking of details, I'm also feeling that the room wraps around me the way the staircase does as well.
It does, and again, I think it kind of it cradles you, and yet it has, it's a two-story foyer, so you have sort of, again, the grand space. You don't feel claustrophobic here.
How big is this house?
This house is about just over 9,000 square feet. Now that does include a detached guest house that has a theater room, a recreation room. So the main house, I would say, give or take 7,500 square feet.
And yet it already feels intimate, cozy, and inviting. I love that.
Wait till you see the rooms, especially the public rooms are fantastic.
Show me one. So we have a classic formal living room, but with a few modern twists in here.
I love the living rooms in Hancock Park because they don't often get used, but they are very grand.
I love the paneling on the ceiling and those rosettes, great detail, because it makes me think it's original, even though it's brand new, because it ties in with the dining room so well.
And that was one of the challenges in the renovation of this home. It had some great architectural detail, but then there were a lot of rooms, really important rooms, that fell flat. This was one of them, and so again, the designer was able to add that here, not only to the ceiling, but to the moldings that you see, and even the millwork on the walls.
And all of that thoughtful work makes this room very impactful. In fact, I'm noticing that our cast stone fireplace has the same rosettes, so we're tying all of that together, again, making it feel like it's original to this grand estate.
And it's not, as we can tell.
And it's not, or can we tell?
Well, I'm not so sure.
Well, this room has tons of natural light. It's peeking me into other rooms. I love how I'm getting little snippets of little venues here and there. That makes this huge home actually feel very intimate.
Yeah, and it really does give you, in my opinion, a salon sort of feel. You can carry on an intimate conversation in any of these rooms, and yet it's a grand living room for entertaining, so you could have 50 guests here without a problem.
And speaking of entertaining, I have a feeling there is an entertainer's kitchen here. Now this is quite a grand kitchen, and I will definitely say I have never seen this exact kitchen in my life.
Well, I'm glad that you said that. We'll pass that on to the designer. She really anchored this room with this island, which is probably about 14 feet long. It's a Calcutta stone. and it comes, I believe, in 2 slabs, but it's actually really a piece of furniture. That's what it's meant to feel like. And you'll see too when we look at the legs that it almost feels like the island's floating.
And this island is huge. We're talking about 6 feet wide, 14 feet long. It really serves as the anchor of this entire area.
It does. The original home, believe it or not, had a galley kitchen on this side. So probably about half of this side, and then a mishmash of rooms in the back. What this builder did, they pushed the house out this way, and then I believe we even pushed it a couple feet to the east there to create, this quintessential great room, which has your kitchen and family area in it.
These cabinets are great, clearly custom. I have never seen aged brass trim on kitchen cabinetry before, and these are walnut to contrast. It's so beautiful.
It's a nice detail, and again speaks to the vintage kind of element of this home.
This beautiful brass and glasswork is just unique.
And you don't often see it. I think it's a bold choice by the designer to expose those shelves like that, because oftentimes even in a house of this vintage, you'll see mostly just cabinetry where the dishes and things go behind.
Yeah, that's a really special touch. Again, the vision that was put into this home with knocking out all these walls so that we could have one giant space here really keeps your eye moving all the way to the backyard, because we've got these gorgeous new mullioned windows in the back that blend with the more traditional elements that were already here. Well, it is such a usable space. We have dining, we have lounging, we have open backyard vistas, and of course this great entertaining kitchen. I could see how you could have a party with 50 people and never bump into them here.
Absolutely. Again, as we say, it's the heart of the home.
Now this is opulence.
It is, isn't it? It has great scale to it and size.
Really does. It's a very interesting ceiling. We've got this coffer and the recesses and all these details put into this. It's very calm here. We have beautiful light. I've got lovely vistas. It makes me feel like I'm not too removed from the world and yet very private at the same time.
Yeah, that was
Really,
the idea.
really lovely. And in the master bath suite, tell me about that, because it's pretty dramatic.
Oh, the master bath suite is fantastic. They created, or Kashani brought in an oval tub, and then they put a light wall in the shower. So you've got a lot of natural light that just kind of floods the master bathroom area. And then we have Ansax tile on the floor, which is a really pretty pattern.
So cool, very modern, and yet with those touches of traditionalism at the same time. Now I feel like I am at a hotel
Yes.
in some beautiful Tuscan neighborhood where I've got my own special villa world here. This is really magical back here.
Well, that's the idea. The pool is in its original location. However, that is not the original pool. They have reshaped it. And then they did some concrete lily pads. So you can actually go around, or you can literally just cross at the end of the pool to get to the guest house.
I love that modern touch. And of course, this is our guest home, so your guests have their own little sanctuary. So this estate is how large?
So we are approximately just over 9,000 square feet between the main house and the guest house. We are sited on about a 21,000 square foot lot, which is good size for Hancock Park. And as you can see, most of it is flat, very usable. Just a great space to entertain outside and, of course, as we saw, inside.
And this is how many bedrooms and baths?
We are 6 bedrooms total, 5 in the main house, 1 in the guest area, and then we have 9 bathrooms.
What is the grand price tag?
The grand price is a cool $8.695 million.
When we return, we see this magnificent trophy home in LA's desirable Bel Air neighborhood.